Operation status quo. Operation status quo. Prepare to engage. Operation status quo. Ready to engage. Operation status quo. Engaged. Engaged. Hey, I'm laughing at myself because I'm hitting the button over here and I couldn't get my finger around under where I had the. Do you really care about that? Is that how we should start a show? Hello and welcome here, ladies and gentlemen, on a Monday. The week starts again, and here we go. It's a Monday here on Operation Status Quo. I'm Pete Palma. Hello and welcome. Glad that you're here with me today on Operation Status Quo. Of course, if you're new here, thank you for taking the time to be here. This is the space where we observe the status quo of life. We learn to flow with the status quo of life. And then, most importantly, we create our own flow of quo, because that's the only way to go. So, first and foremost, we have to understand our circumstances and what's going on out there in the world and how to mitigate our day-to-day life so that we, don't have to feel oppressed by things as such. And then once we know what's going on and what we kind of like, then we create our own flow of quo. And that's how we go because that's the only way to go, right? Because, not for anything in general, you want to live as free as much as you can in a sense, or as lightheartedly in a sense as you can. Our world is very serious, and they make it seem like it's very serious with everything that's going on out there. But in truth, it's a lot more. I believe, and that's probably like the main reason I do my show the way I do. And I think it even says in that description thing I have, on the channel about not making life so complicated. And I've always had a belief in that, to be honest with you, as far as just from as a kid, I can always remember why is everybody making everything so complicated? Let's just relax and, have some fun. I think it's important. We have to, listen, some people, when I express that point of view, just look at it like I'm aloof or lazy or don't care about anything. And the truth is really the complete opposite. I care so much that I want things to be, a kinder, gentler, easier way of life so that we can enjoy instead of like all this, heaviness that we feel so much. I mean, of course, it's all come to light over the past few years. But if you want to go back even before COVID and such and think about how heavy our lives seemed, right? Just like we didn't really think about it so much because the grind was on and it was the normal day to day. But once COVID came. And shook everything up and changed, the way people's lifestyles were and gave people different ways of looking at things. People are starting to see, a different way now, right? So we don't have to live under that heaviness all the time. And, anyway, so that's really why I'm here, because I care about the people. I'm a man of the people. You're the people. I love the people. Did I say I'm Pete Palma? I'm not sure if I did that for a name, but that's who I am. It's the last time I checked in with the doctors when they refilled my meds, they told me I was Pete Palma. But anyway, so, I think it's important for us, seriously, to, try to go through life, with a level of softness, so that, we can allow our soul purpose, to come through. And really, everything is about, as goofy as it might sound in certain ways, or, la-ti-da, it's like everything's really just about like love and kindness, right? And like the more we do that, the more we create a world that shows us that. The world is merely a reflection of, what we got going on inside. So, when you look around what's going on out there, you got to think about what you're vibrating and, where you're resonating and how you're getting to that space of thinking the things you think, right? So anyway, today is the 21st of August in the good year 2023, and moving through this year, we're really kicking it, right? We're really kicking it through this year. It's going to be September pretty soon. Before you know it, hitting the fall, and bada boom, bada beep, bada boop, and it's wintertime, and here we go again, right? Anyway, but today is still summer, so enjoy it while you can. It's still hot, I'm sure. I know it's hot here. I'm sure it's hot probably in your area too, because it's been pretty hot this summer. So anyway. I'm not a weatherman. I'm not a weatherman. I just play one on television, right? When they do these commercials with the doctor. I'm not a weatherman. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a doctor. Don't listen to anything I say. I'm just a fellow human being trying to share kindness and joy with you, the beautiful people out there. So today's program is entitled Too Happy to Worry. Indeed. And, listen, I want to start this off by saying, of course, I understand we all have our trials and tribulations in our life and different things going on from time to time that can, bring bring us down and make us feel certain ways. And, I think it's important whenever something is going on in any of our lives, I'm not, this what I'm talking about here today is not to say, oh, just like, oh, everything's happy and just don't, forget about it. I mean, I think it is important to, whatever issues are going on in someone's life, whatever the case may be, a family issue, a job issue, whatever issue, a career issue, did I say job issue and then I said career issue? I don't know if I did it. Anyway, but I talk so fast sometimes I forget if I even said anything so far. But we have to acknowledge and face whatever's going on in our day to day, but that doesn't mean that we have to do it in a space of anxiousness, worry, and fear. So that's really the point. So I have, of course, too happy to worry, because, I think it's important for us to keep a space, to be mindful, to, secure our happiness. I think, it's not like, I know people, I guess, in a way, with the day-to-day world, people would think, life is harsh and tough, and we don't have time for this, do happiness stuff. Like it's, you see what's going on out there. How can blah, 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 blah. And it's not about like being fluffy. I think it's important for us as entities to maintain our happiness. I think we deserve to maintain our happiness. I think we deserve to be happy, right? I mean, we don't have to. I know, especially the old religious ways of teaching things, it's always this guilt and fear and you're not good enough to get into heaven and all that kind of nonsense they teach us when of course there is no time and space and there really is no separation of anything, so there really is like no heaven. I mean, I guess there is in a certain way, but not like the way they teach us in religion. So that's for darn sure. So we have the opportunity to be happy. We should be happy, and I would encourage everyone out there to do just that. So I do have a little list here today of some items that can, some secrets on how to find happiness, like basically in your day-to-day life. And of course, we all know, and I put it in the comments below, basically, everybody's on their own journey in their life, and, I think the more we can do things, and let's just take, I'm not even going to get into like any of the politics or the geopolitical things going on in the world or whatever, it's more about, the world's always going to be the world, whether it's like, 2023 and it's all the situations that we're facing now, or you want to go back 100 years and they thought it was the end of the world and whatever situations were happening back then. I mean, I think it's all relative to a time period. It's always the same stories, just in different ways, because ultimately everything is about getting people back to center and connecting with their higher sources and such. So, I don't think we should put too much emphasis on the actual, what the individual events are, as much as realizing that those events are merely, prods, like a cattle prod, when something bad's happening. Excuse me, I'm sorry. To clear my throat there like that. But it's like a cattle prod. Like when something bad's happening in the world that gets you all upset and scared and nervous, it's like a cattle prod to, give you a little zap and send you back towards, center, and reminding you that you have the opportunity to reclaim your peace of mind, your peace of heart, and of course, maintain your happiness. So, and it's a journey, everyone's life is a journey as far as, how we get there and what makes us happy. And I think it's important that comes down to being honest with yourself, knowing who you are, knowing, what things set you off in different ways, knowing how to create boundaries so that, you don't have to be mean to people per se, but, you keep certain people, I don't want to say at a distance, but yeah, certain people you don't let as close as other people that you would let if they don't, resonate with you, if they're sending you on a path of stealing, I don't say stealing, but, taking you off kilter of your happiness. So, it's all part of it. Being happy, is also knowing, how to keep away from people who are going to make you unhappy. And not just people, but, situations, negative vibrations and energies and stuff like that. So, all right, let's get through here because, I'll get this information out here for you today. Some secrets to find happiness. Again, we're all on our own journey, so however it works for you, but these are just some tips that you can use in your day-to-day life to help you, keep yourself centered. And when you're feeling a little blue and a little down, you can remember, hey, your buddy Pete was here to give you some information to help put a smile on your face and say, hey, it's okay. Just be happy. Just be happy, damn it. We won't take it no more. I want to see you happy. All right, here we go. Secrets on how to find happiness. Let's start with this one. You have to recognize that you have choices, right? First and foremost, like, I think a lot of us believe that we don't have choices, right? Especially, say it's just a family situation. If you might not, this is going to go down a bad path fast. I was going to say, it doesn't sound right the way I'm saying it, but I was thinking, if you got a bad marriage or something, and and you're not happy, you have choices. You can leave that marriage, but I don't want to encourage people to get divorced. But the point is, you do have choices. You don't, no matter what society says and how things are shaped, and in our day-to-day life, we're always kind of guided. We're all funneled into this kind of path, right, of like cattle, of living a certain type of way, and what you're supposed to do, when you're supposed to go to school, when you're supposed to have a family, how old you're supposed to work until, when you're allowed to go on vacation. But some of those things might not resonate with you of how you want to live your life. That's why you got a lot of people living in RVs, driving around the country, just chilling out. Maybe that life works better for you. So you have choices. Think about what is important to you, what makes you happy, and go with those choices to bring yourself the happiness, and don't give in to what other people want. I'll say that from my perspective, really quickly, is just that I've always kind of bucked the system in a way of I really never cared about what people say should or shouldn't do. Even when I moved, down here, it was like a big deal, kind of, because my family, my mom or whatever, you're leaving, you're going to Florida. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to Florida, and it's not about wanting to get away from anybody. It's that's what I felt, and that's what makes me happy, in a sense. So, what I mean is you can make big choices. It doesn't have to be something like you move out of state or something, but, you can make choices of exactly what you want to do and how you want to set up your day, and you don't have to feel guilty about it, and you don't have to answer to anybody. Quite honestly, I'm first to say that you don't have to answer to anybody. Do what you want to do. If somebody doesn't like it, then that's it. Then that you don't have to deal with them because they're obviously not on your page. So it's really, again, I talk about all this stuff as being liberating, and it really is just that, liberating. Practice gratitude is the next one, which is an obvious, just in your day to day, especially when you do have something that's going wrong and you feel really upset, right? Or something's throwing your mood down, throwing your vibration down, and you just take a step back and you practice the gratitude, of thinking about what you do have in your life. Instead of thinking of the lack, think of wow, how lucky am I that I have food every day and a roof over my head. And, people kind of scoff at some of that stuff sometimes, but, if all of a sudden you didn't have a house and you didn't have food and, whatever, all of a sudden it's a whole new life, right? It's a whole new day and it's a whole new set of problems. So in our lives as humans, it's very sensitive, as far as the balance of, stability for, our care and our survival. So, we should be thankful, and not even just for physical things. Just thankful for people in your life, thankful for the person who let you in, on the road, that, coming on, merging into traffic, or the person who, whatever, helped you grab something off the top shelf at a grocery store, just like that moment that, that person came by and I couldn't reach up there and that person got that for me, and, whatever. I had a situation like a month ago. I was out for one of my walks, and as I was walking down the sidewalk, these two older ladies a little bit were moving this kind of filing cabinet, and they had rolled it out on this whatever dolly, to bring it to put it in the back of their car. And they got to the back of the car just as I was walking by, and I said, "Oh, you want me to put that in the car for you real quick?" And they were so happy. I just picked it. For them, it would have been a big to do and a struggle, to pick up this filing cabinet, put it in the car. But I just happened to be passing by and I said, "Can I help you with this?" And they were happy. I picked it up. It took me a half a second. I put it in the car and I was on my way for my walk. So, that type of stuff, just gratitude for simple things. And even me, I'm grateful. I actually feel gratitude for that experience because, I was able to help somebody. It was as simple and goofy. It's it sounds like nothing. I'm no hero or nothing, I'm just saying like those kind of things are beautiful to me. When I have the opportunity, I see somebody doing something, "Oh, can I pick that up for you? Can I open the door for you? Can I help you?" Those are beautiful things. And I feel gratitude for those experiences myself too. So, this gratitude in life is really important. Forgiveness as well. You always want to be and not just forgiving others for quote unquote things you feel may have been done to you, but forgiving yourself is really when I've talked about A Course in Miracles multiple times, and that's one of the big points in Course in Miracles is forgiving yourself. And sometimes it's hard to wrap your brain around that concept, forgive myself for what? But really you're forgiving yourself for making the dream real, because as we are here in this life, and as we get involved and attached to different situations and people and whatever thoughts and feelings and everything else, we at that time are making the dream real when we get when we have that level of attachment. And I think the biggest, it is a concept to work with, but forgiving yourself for, believing that this life is real and that you're putting all this pressure on yourself, forgiving yourself for, creating the duality, in a sense. So, and just give yourself a break, just give yourself a break. I would say to all of us, life is heavy enough, right? Like, we should give ourselves a break. Now, I mean, that doesn't mean like go out and do bad things and go, oh, I forgive myself. I punched that guy in the head. Now I want to forgive myself. I'm not saying it like that. Just general forgiveness of feeling heavy, forgiveness of, yourself, of being sad and depressed. It's okay. Like things happen sometimes, but you don't have to wallow in those lower feelings and those lower energies. So anyway, mindfulness, I spoke about that in the beginning, kind of, just saying about, being mindful. And I talk about this all the time, about being mindful of your thoughts, reverence, responsibility. These are words that are, kind of big to me. And I try to maintain that myself because I have my days, as I talk about all the time, where obviously, I'm not programmed to be perfect here or anything. Like I'm speaking, to you guys the way I would speak to myself and how I do, speak to myself all the time, to try to remind myself of, when you get in that space, like, hey, let's just be mindful of what's going on. Let's be mindful of others, mindful of myself, mindful of situations, and let's just take it down a notch, and have, responsibility for your thoughts, your feelings, reverence for things around. I guess the reverence kind of goes more with the gratitude in a sense, but it all kind of flows into one thing. We also have friendship. Feeling included in a community of friends can be an important part of living a happier life. Without the love and fellowship of friends, loneliness may become a factor that can detract from your health, happiness, and overall well-being. So it is important to have community in your life, family, friends, but of course, it's important to have, I would say this, you're better off being by yourself than being with people that are not helping you resonate at a higher level. So, and that's again about being mindful. It's again, about being responsible for your thoughts and, all that stuff. We're humans and we're social beings. So of course we need love in our life and community. But, I say, in a step to finding happiness and going back to number one, saying, you have choices and, choose to be with people that are like-minded, people that believe in the things that you believe, people that want to help uplift you. And then the days when they're a little bit down, you uplift them. And the days that they're down, you're down, they uplift you, and vice versa. And round we go. And, so it's just finding that, that level of person that is good to be around. So I would not recommend just being with anybody, but I do recommend being with people in general. Rest is very important for happiness, getting the right amount of sleep. I mean, going back to our physical, a couple of these are physical rest and movement, of course, exercise, blood flow, all these things, sitting all day. I know a lot of, I don't know how much it is now. Maybe our lifestyles change. I mean, except for all the people sitting around playing video games, and eating Doritos, are people still sitting all day at work? I guess they are. I mean, I don't, but maybe they do. I guess if you're still going to the office, right, and sit there all day at a computer, but, movement, get up, move your body around, feel your body, not only like feel your body, like get dirty with yourself, but I'm just saying, feel the life that you are. Be in your body. One of my yoga things, when I went to Bali, that's what the instructor was saying. He's like, be in your body. I guess he wanted us to be safe because there weren't many hospitals around where we were, and he didn't want anybody getting hurt. So he wanted everybody to be mindful of where they were stepping and what they were doing. So, but it is awareness, and moving your body and rest. Going back, I didn't get deep into rest, but obviously, sleep, and again, about being in your body, know your body when you need rest, right? All these type of things, your physical, your nutrition, your, all that is really important for your vibration as well. So, sunshine is another one, is obviously, the sun, we don't have to talk about that, the vitamin D. And that's one of the reasons I came to Florida as well, because I wanted to be in the sunshine, and it really makes a big difference. I have to say, I know I complained a couple shows ago that, it's sometimes the summer's been hot and it's just like sunny all the time and sunny all the time. And, it'd be nice to see a little bit of rain or something. But I know like if it time came that it was raining for 2 days in a row or something, or even one day, all day, I'd probably be like, oh, what's going on with this rain? I can't get outside and do what I want to do. I do a lot of stuff outside, walk every day, go in my swims in the pool, and, it's so sunshine, being outdoors, all that type of stuff, being with nature really helps to, even if you are having a bad day and down, like, just a step of being happy, something to put into your life, go for a little walk or just go outside and just breathe some fresh air, just go look up at the clouds and just kind of zone out with it a little bit. I love looking at clouds, right? Cleanliness, keeping your work and home spaces clean and free of clutter may help fit your mood, help fix your mood. Yeah, help lift your mood. I don't know why I can't read, but it's true. Obviously, I've done this before. You go in stages a little bit of getting busy, and maybe you don't, some papers clutter up on the counter or something from the mail and whatever you're doing and blah, blah, blah. And I notice every time that kind of thing happens and I take that time to go through and, just kind of give everything a little freshen up, you just feel like, isn't that better? Isn't that nice? Everything's just nice and open now. So anyway, cleanliness is important. Cleanliness is next to godliness. That's what they say, and when I get home to God, I will ask him if that is true. But seriously, cleanliness does help you feel better. I mean, if you're in a dirty house and everything, right? I mean, I've been to people's houses that are dirty. I'm like sometimes I'll sit on the edge of the chair. Like I don't even want to sit back on the couch. I don't want to step on anything. I don't even want to look around, So, if you're in a nice, clean, happy environment, the nicer your environment is, the happier you're going to feel, basically. All right. And we're going to finish it up with this one right now. Small wins, ladies and gentlemen. So in the pursuit of happiness, part of learning how to be happy with yourself comes from life experiences. Try to set and work toward achieving some goals. Start small, find a goal or two that are relatively easy to accomplish. Have a plan in place and how you will achieve them. Achieving goals can help boost your confidence and with it, your sense of happiness too. So, I agree with that, and I'll say even for myself, because I'm big on that. Like, I almost sometimes don't like it when I get something in my mind that I want to do, because now I know I have to go through with it. And like, if I don't complete, then I kind of say, oh, I didn't, it's tough for me. So like, even with the show, I mean, I'm going to have to do this for the rest of my life now. So anyway, but seriously, just like, step by step. You don't have to do everything all at once. I was just talking to a guy today when I was out for my walk. I see him a lot, and I wound up having some conversation with him. And he was just, we were talking about nutrition and stuff, and he was saying how hard it is for him with certain things. And I said, listen, you don't have to change your whole diet all in one swoop. Just start small. Substitute one thing for another thing. Maybe cut one thing out. Little by little, and before you know it, you make a whole bunch of changes. So the more you set little goals for yourself and you accomplish those goals, it boosts your spirit, it makes you feel good, and you're ready to get out there and do more and live life. Da-na-na, da-na-na. All right. Hey-o. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what I got for you here today on Operation Status Quo. Just some tips to be happy, just some thoughts. That's what we do here. We share thoughts, and of course, your thoughts are welcome, so feel free to leave comments in the comment section below and let me know what you think out there. Please take the time to like, subscribe, share, send this out to your family, your friends, those you love, and of course, those you despise as well. I love you guys out there individually as well as a group, each and every one of you. Just remember, we have the power and the choice to make our life whatever we want it to be. I say that probably to a nauseam. But I, just want to try to get that point across, because the more we all kind of go that way, and even when we have bad times, we work towards happiness and push ourselves in that direction, the happier we are, that energy emanates out to others, and, it's contagious. And, just imagine a world where everybody's generally happy and enjoying their life and feeling fulfilled. Wow, what kind of crazy concept is that, right? But we can do it, and that's the goal of Operation Status Quo. So thanks for being here, ladies and gentlemen. Until tomorrow, Operation Status Quo, disengaged.
It's a boulevard of 10 short blocks.